Now, when I tell you to think about the world's most innovative company, I'm pretty sure for a lot of you, you'd imagine this one, Apple. It's hard not to be impressed by Apple. I mean, whatever you think about the iPhone 5, they sold out within a couple of hours. But I've often looked at the Apple logo and I've asked myself, what's the missing chunk? I actually think it's 14%. 14% is the percentage currently on the global World Wide Web constituted by Americans. Do you realize that America is only a tiny percentage of the World Wide Web? 86% is everywhere else. So whether it's digital innovation or any other kind of innovation, I think some of the next big forces shaping the future of where great ideas come from are actually going to come from elsewhere. China is case in point. I spent quite a bit of time living in China and Hong Kong, and I was always amazed at the number of stories I started to find of companies that were doing incredible things with engineering and production. You see, we look at Apple's products and we think this is the high watermark of innovation, the original iPhone, the iPad. But I put it to you that some of the most disruptive forces today in telecommunications might look like an iPhone, but, well, they're under $100. They have not one but two SIM card slots. They don't need iTunes. They've got a free TV tuner built into it. This is not an iPhone. It's called a hi-phone. It's made by the same Shenzhen factories that churn out, your devices. By day, they produce authorized technology. By night, they moonlight and they create these crazy clones. Now, it started off as a joke. Some of you, I'm sure, have seen some of this stuff. But then something funny happened 18 months ago. These clone technologies suddenly started to exceed their originals. They had higher spec cameras. They had faster processors. They could do more things. And what started to happen was that this type of technology, which is known broadly as Shanzhai or bandit technology, and all kinds of things from robotic cleaners with webcams on top. I've got no idea what you use that for. Wooden phones, iPads running Android. It seemed ridiculous, but as I talked to one of these Shenzhen manufacturers and said, what are you guys doing? He said, well, listen, Apple puts out one phone every 18 months, if you're lucky. We put out about 50 different phones every single month. And we look at what works. We look at what consumers are buying. We look at what features seem to be taking off and which don't. So in the end, that kind of aggressive Darwinian evolutionary approach, I think, is going to be a juggernaut that's going to be very hard for any traditionally based R&D company to keep up with.